Now for the sanctity of your young Jaegerist hearts, we aren't going to use the word villain in this video once, outside of this opening monologue. That's not what this video is about. Go watch Morally Justified or any other of my Attack on Titan related videos about Eren for that. Now you'll also notice this video is shorter than usual. That's because this is a preemptive endnote explanation for a concept I briefly mention in the script for my upcoming video, Core Themes and Changing Context in Attack on Titan. That'll be coming out in the coming days. Hopefully. When I assume Eren is the antagonist in that video, early in the video, I don't want the entire comment section to be an off-topic discussion between morons who don't get it about whether or not Eren is the antagonist, so this video is the place for that, and for me to explain my use of the word antagonist in regards to Eren. Also, I know sadly that since Eren is the antagonist is a more inflammatory video title than Core Themes and Changing Context in Attack on Titan, that this video will likely get more views and attention. So I wanted to shield the much better and more interesting video at the beginning of this video here. It'll be out in a few days. If you're watching this later, it's probably out already. Watch that video instead of this one, which verges on stating the obvious, that some people seem to have misunderstood. So not from a moral or villainous standpoint, but simply from a structural and storytelling perspective, Eren has been the antagonist in the final arc of Attack on Titan. This is undeniable. Eren, as everybody knows, was our antagonist definitively until chapter 90. Up until that point, we saw the world through Eren's eyes. Our knowledge about what was going on in the Attack on Titan world on a larger scale and in the plot of the series were identical to Eren's, making us identify with him. We heard his internal monologue, we spent most of our time with him. Sure, sometimes we would cut away to other characters for a little while, but primarily everything was about Eren. He even seemed to be somewhat of the chosen one, as he was the only one with this seemingly unique ability to transform into a Titan on our side. But after chapter 90, everything changes. We head into this short arc that fucks with our conception of who the good and bad guys were in the story the entire time, as Reiner and Falco take over as the people we see the world through for at least 8 chapters or so with no Eren in sight. Well, actually he was, but we didn't know that at the time. Then Eren shows back up again, really, but this time he's different. He's the second half of chapter 90 Eren, and he's cold and calculating and ruthless. But after he assassinates Willy Tybur, we are positioned behind him again in his battle with the Warhammer Titan. In this battle, we hear Eren's internal monologue, we see through his eyes, he gets most of the screen time in these chapters, he's the protagonist structurally, and the Warhammer Titan is the antagonist. Again, we aren't making any value judgments here, or talking about who's the hero or the villain. But after Eren succeeds in gaining the Warhammer's power, and the scouts retreat from Liberio back to Paradis, Eren completely stops being any sort of protagonist. In fact, in a shift, he functionally becomes the antagonist. Eren is not the protagonist or even the main character anymore. He doesn't have the focus or the screen time he once had, and we don't see the world through his eyes anymore. Instead, we have an ensemble cast now, with Armin, Reiner, and Gabi taking over as the more primary protagonists, with Falco, Mikasa, Levi, and Hanji battling for a lot of the focus as well, with the other seminal supporting characters. The knowledge gap between the audience and Eren is astronomical for most of the arc, whereas for the first 90 chapters of this series it was basically equal. Reiner and Ymir may have known a great deal more about the world of Attack on Titan than Eren back then, but the audience didn't. But now he knows much more than the audience. He may literally know everything, making it impossible to position yourself with him. Now obviously we can't know what Eren knows, or structurally the story doesn't work at all. After all, a lot of Attack on Titan only functions because the audience is ignorant to a lot of what's going on. It's very much always been a mystery series, but this means structurally we don't see the world through Eren's eyes anymore. And there's even plenty of other Titan shifters around that invalidate his special, unique seeming power. Functionally, he just isn't the protagonist anymore. But there's one thing he didn't lose that didn't change, and that's his importance to the narrative, because he found a new role that's just as important to inhabit. He became the antagonist. But if we can backtrack for a second, what is a protagonist and an antagonist? Specifically, structurally, the protagonist is usually the character the audience is positioned to root for, and the antagonist gets in the way or tries to stop them. Usually this actualizes with the hero being the protagonist, and the antagonist being the villain, but not always. Death Note is a popular example of the audience being positioned to root for someone immoral, and get annoyed when he's pursued by the antagonists, who are likely more morally noble. I don't think think anybody seriously considers Light Yagami the hero or the good guy in Death Note, or L the outright villain. Hero does not inherently mean protagonist, and villain does not inherently mean antagonist. But how these protagonist and antagonist roles usually actualize in narratives is the protagonist is usually reactive and the antagonist is proactive. There's an inciting incident usually caused by the antagonist that calls the protagonist to action. The protagonist is reacting to a perceived injustice afoot. The antagonist tries to destroy the world and the protagonist tries to stop them. I had Lord of the Rings in my mind when I first thought of that analogy, and then I realized that I didn't need an analogy because that's exactly what's happening in Attack on Titan. Except for whatever reason this time a portion of the audience decided that the world ending was the good ending. The orcs, after all, were just doing it for their people. But I digress. But that's the point. Eren has stopped being reactive and started being proactive, making him structurally the antagonist. Eren's plan is a secret to the audience and to his peers, and he is inciting everything that's going on, while all of our other characters that we are now positioned to view the world of Attack on Titan through are in the reactive position as protagonists trying to save the world. Eren pre-timeskip was always reacting to what was going on around him, reacting to the walls being broken down by the armored and colossal titans, the antagonists, who are proactive in that instance. Then he reacts to becoming a titan, then an ambush from the female titan, and then the reveal from Bertolt and Reiner, then a corrupt government that wants him dead, and even in Shingashino, where the scouts seemingly are being proactive in the narrative, as soon as the conflict starts, they are reacting to an ambush laid by Reiner, Bertolt, and Zeke with a little help from Pieck. Quickly, so Isayama could maintain their status as protagonists and underdogs, he put them in a reactive position. At every turn, protagonist Eren had to react to bigger things and plots going on around him, and the plot functioned with us knowing everything Eren knew, and we were aligned. And also knew nothing about what was actually going on. But now, contemporarily, Eren is the proactive one. He's the one with all the knowledge, and he is the one the characters that we are aligned with are reacting to. He's become the antagonist, whether you think he's justified and righteous in his actions or not. Eren is the antagonist. If you disagree, do it here. I don't want to hear about it on the video I'm actually looking forward to releasing. This has been your should be unnecessary, very necessary Attack on Titan reminder. Support links in the description below. Thanks.